She's so underrated. She's absolutely incredible. You need to be working on Star Sapphire. We just had her event. I'm going to give you an in-depth guide on her right now. Let's hop into it.
There is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, I'm Gravity here, and this is a DC Legends video. In this video, I'm going to go through Star Sapphire's kit. Star Sapphire may be one of the, I don't know, maybe most underutilized tunes in the game, given her. It's like, for me, if you saw my Catwoman video, it's the same thing, where there are these two tunes, and there's more of them in there, but they're the two tunes that have tremendous utility no matter how much damage they do. They're actually incredible tunes themselves. Catwoman and Star Sapphire to me are both those tunes where they're farmable. You can get their frags relatively easily, and they have great just utility outside of damage that they may be doing. And in fact, Star Sapphire can lay down punches if she wants to, unlike Catwoman. But it's, you know, Star Sapphire, Castaway, Green Arrow, Catwoman off the top of my head. Maybe I should make a list of most underutilized tunes in the game. That might be something. So anyway, let's just go ahead and hop right into her kit. Well, first of all, the look. So I did, like, let me see. Is there do I have, okay, no, I only have that one. I don't know why. I don't like it when the lanterns, typically, when they have these, like, when they have their constructs on them. Like, I prefer when it's just, like, straight up like this, outside of, like, Kilowog. And I think Jessica Cruz have, like, the good skins that have the constructs on them. Everybody else is just kind of trash. So I just went ahead. She's RB1. Went ahead and went to that old skin. In fact, I might have bought the old skin. I can't remember when I took RB1. Anyway, so going directly into the kit. Spirit of Zamaron. Sure, there's a word. Special damage and apply 2 strength downs and 2 int downs to an enemy. Strike twice if Star Sapphire is overhealed. Her kit lends to being overhealed. However, running her under Lex, duh. Running her with Black Lightning, kind of a duh. Even Dr. Poison. And actually, the Dr. Poison point might be even better stated because of the debuffs. She is a massive debuff slash healer. So what she's going to do is, so what you see here, strength downs, intelligence downs. The intelligence downs make her hit harder and makes the enemy, if there's special damage, they won't be able to deliver as much damage because they have int downs on them. So it goes two ways. The int downs on them weaken their defense against intelligence. Therefore, when you hit them with special damage attacks, you can cause more damage, but at the same time, those int downs on the enemy means that when they hit you, they can't hit as hard. Then the strength downs, kind of obvious. Damage done by physical tunes when they hit you just isn't as strong. Then heavy overheal on the A2, Power of Love. 15% shield to an ally and Star Sapphire. So always use that on somebody else. Never use it on Star Sapphire because she's going to heal herself anyway. And then also purge 4 debuffs from each target. So is it as good as like a actual team-wide overheal like you would get from a Dr. Poison or you would get from an Enchantress? No. However, it's a massive overheal. Like, it's huge. So, I mean, it's definitely, I wouldn't say, in terms of healers, I think Lex is the best healer in the game. And then Enchantress and Star Sapphire are right there at second to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mara, she's more of a PvE healer as a beast. Red Alert's in PvE because of the mins. Like when you're looking at healers, and this is something that goes into her kit that I'll get into. Mins are more for PvE, whereas like just outright overheal is more for PvP. PvP matches aren't going to last as long as PvE matches. Therefore, mins aren't as useful because by the time your turn gets around, you might have already needed that heal, but you're taken out before your turn comes around and it heals you. That's why overheal is more valuable there. However, in PvE matchups where you're going through waves that are going to be generally weaker than you, you're going to get more than one turn. So having the mins there is a better healing method. I don't know if it's better, but it's a more effective healing method in PvE, and that's part of the reason why Star Sapphire is a beast as well. So, and we'll get to that when we get there. Starfall, underrated ability. This ability is also what drives me crazy about Punchline right now when facing her on my free-to-play account. I have a way to stop it, but the thing that she does is, well, we'll go ahead and say this. Light special damage on Starfall and apply 4 strength downs. We already talked about strength downs, and 4 int downs. We already talked about int downs. Apply buff immunity to all enemies. That thing is so obnoxious when you're on a free-to-play account and you're going up against Punchline. She gives you a 2-turn buff immunity. That means that that Lex team that I'm trying to use to, overheal my team to ramp up is not effective until I can purge that buff immunity, because nobody's going to buff, which means that Lex can't heal anybody. The way I resolved that on my free-to-play account is my Wonder Woman, once she got to R4, honestly. But now I have her L1. Woo, did it today. Now I have her L1. So what I do is I run her off lead, actually, and use her A2 to purge those buff immunities off of me. And then I can go ahead and move forward with using Lex and buffing. But having buff immunity on enemies is underrated for when you have those heavy buff teams. So if you're going up against Azrael, I know it's kind of scary, but dropping a bunch of debuff immunity on Azrael for that 1 turn will prevent him from ramping the way that he wants to ramp, if you can get the debuff immunity, if you can get the buff immunity on him before he ramps in the first place, and then gives himself debuff immunity. But if you have a team that you think is going to buff really, really heavy, and you don't have a Wonder Girl in the way, then using buff immunity can help you out, and Starfire does that. And then also weakens the enemy, weakens their attacks against you. So even if Azrael does ramp, which, take this how you want it. If he already has strength us but no buff immunity or no debuff immunity, then you debuff him and he ramps, he's gonna hit you, but he's gonna have 4 strength down, so he's not gonna hit you as hard. Plus he's gonna have the buff immunity, so that he won't be able to ramp any further than where he's at. But that's one of those pick your spots kind of thing, whether you want to use that or not. Now, love grows. By the way, on the power of love, I did not take that last 5% because 8 blue rings, 4 or 5% overheal, I'm not so sure I want to deal with. Plus, she's incredibly effective without it. Passive ability on the love grows. 70% chance to apply 3 mins and crit immunity to an ally if they get buffed. I used to run this comp, and I tried to run it here, and I wasn't able to really, I didn't do it well enough. Put it that way. Didn't use it in the right situation, where I would run Donna Troy, Flash, Barda, and Star Sapphire. The reason for that is Donna Troy is going to make turns come around faster. Wally West is going to give everybody turn meter up, so we can ensure that we go first. Then on top of all of it, everybody's going to be buffing constantly, which means that Star Sapphire is going to just start tossing out mins. We have Barda there to be the tank, and then we're going to convert a lot of those buffs into awareness. So that was I can't remember, there was a video I did before I really had this channel going, where, it was countless amounts of awareness, and they were all overhealed. It was a total overkill in terms of defense to keep my team alive, but it worked. So absolutely awesome ability, plus the crit immunity. Makes it hard to kill. Now, love unending. I have not ringed this out. Not really. Because from a PvP point of view, yeah, that's useful. And if you do it, go for it. But love unending, when Star Sapphire dies, apply 70% true heal and 1 awareness to all allies. Also purge all debuffs. It's an awesome ability. It's an awesome ability if you're in the early to mid game. Unfortunately, with Star Sapphire, I didn't really start working on her, I want to say, until late mid game. And then I was like, oh, wow, she's awesome. But then by that point, it was kind of like the Jessica Cruz thing. Jessica Cruz was very big for me in the mid game. She was huge for me. I didn't even realize how big she was until later on, but I knew she was one of my favorite tunes in the game. But one of the benefits of her was that when allies would die, and this was before her recent rework, when allies would die, there was some kind of benefit that she would get where she would hit stronger, or there was something that she would do, and I cannot remember. Apologies. But then when Star Sapphire came around, or when I started using her, my thought process graduated to, all right, now I'm fighting in PvP with the goal of not losing a single tune. So if I'm putting Star Sapphire into the battle, then that passive ability I'm hoping I'll never have to use. So there was no reason for me to ring that out. That's basically my thought process there. So that is Star Sapphire. Absolutely incredible. I have a RB1. I'm tempted to take a RB2, but I probably shouldn't do that. I got enough rebirth crystals for it, but I'm not gonna. I'm saving my next rebirth for the player guide that I'm gonna put out later on this week. So now I'm gonna go ahead and switch things up and go to some of the matches. Now in this match, and I'll go ahead and let it kick forward a little bit so I can explain it as I typically do lately. I'd say typically, and it's like, no, you just started doing that, dude. All right, so what we have here is now the goal was I wanted to have Stars. I want to have Red Robin give Star Sapphire. Well, True Sight's not important here. It was a turn meter up. I could have put Wally West in. I just decided to change things up. I don't really know why I didn't choose Wally. Oh, maybe because of the affinity matchup with Red Robin. He would be able to do some damage against Spectre, even though you don't bring Red Robin in for damage. You bring him in for utility, which is the utility I'm about to use now. Turn meter up. 100% turn meter up goes to Star Sapphire. She drops down an AoE attack that gives buff immunity to everybody, hopefully effectively neutering Azrael, and then giving them also intelligence downs, making the attacks from Martian Manhunter and Star Sapphire that much more powerful. And then we go from there. So let's see how this match actually ended up going. Oh, I think this was the match that lasted like a hot minute. Okay, so there you go. You see that she's put down the debuff immunity, even if, and this is the one drawback, as he tries to buff, buff immunity's on there, so he's effectively neutered for that turn. Now here's the one drawback, is that now with Punchline, seeing an AoE attack, debuff immunity, or buff immunity for the whole team for 2 turns as opposed to the 1 turn that's done by Star Sapphire, like, it's still good. It's still really, really, really good, but when you compare it to Punchline, it's not as good and not as effective. However, you can give yourself a little bit of an upper hand in the battle by doing that to an Azrael, being able to to stop him from ramping for a little bit, just so you can like kind of catch up. So, in any case, now what's up next is the problem child, that is Spectre. Spectre, when I'm going to go against him with the Star Sapphire, if I'm hitting Spectre with my A1, which, oh, wow, I didn't even do that on purpose. That wasn't even for real on purpose. As I'm giving him int downs, he's going to hit not as strong. He's not going to hit as hard. We're worried about the AoE attack, of course, but now he has Red Robin is stripping him of a couple of int ups. Star Sapphire is giving him more. I wish he would have done that, call assist on Spectre, so he would have hit much weaker. But we're giving him more int downs. So therefore, she's hitting harder on him. But same time, he won't be able to do as much damage. So let's go ahead and watch this play out a little bit more. That freaking stun strip thing. All right, so go back to Star Sapphire, I think, on the A2. Yep. Hit Spectre some more. Right now, the problem child, or like the thing that's becoming a problem, is the fact that Alan Scott is giving a lot of shields right now. A lot of protection. Okay. Come on now. And also, let me check this too. I think that on her A1, the strength downs and the int downs only last for 1 turn. And it would be nice if they did a rework and just made all their debuffs last for 2 turns. Like, that would be a small little tweak. You wouldn't have to do much to make her more relevant in the current meta, albeit you can use her. She is great. So, is she like diamond level? Is she like Alex or Green Lantern? No, she's not. However, she can do damage. She debuffs like a monster. There goes Spectre. That was the main one that I was worried about. I think I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next battle because I think you get it here. But these guys, Alan Scott is tanky as all get out. So it's going to be a minute before we're able to do any damage. And I'm looking down at the clock right now with how long this video is going to go. And I do think that Star Sapphire ends up falling in this battle. Let's go forward a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. I think Alan Scott cracks. Oh, no. No, we made it all the way through. So you see, strength downs. Even if there wasn't awareness there on Star Sapphire, he's not going. He's a physical based tool. He's not going to be able to do a lot of damage to us, not at all. And I wish I hadn't done that A3 from. Oh wait, no. Even better to demonstrate that. You see all those int downs. Alan Scott is tanky. He's very, very tanky. You saw an A3 attack there from Martian Manhunter. all those int downs, Martian Manhunter special damage tune, which means that he was able to do far more damage than he normally would have been able to because the int downs were there, making Alan Scott more susceptible to special damage attacks, even if it's coming from a negative affinity matchup. All right, so let's get this going. All right, so trying to have some fun with Parallax. I do like Parallax a little bit. Like, he's replaced Clayface for me. All right, so the idea here is you have Talon, who's going to remove the debuff, remove the debuff immunity from the rest of the enemy team. Then I'm going to use Star Sapphire's AoE attack. Go ahead and put that buff immunity on them. They'll get their turns and do whatever they need to do. Now, Darkseid is there because I like running Jessica Cruz, who also does like 6 or a lot of int downs on enemies with the A1. Seeing as how if Star Sapphire is overhealed, she'll attack twice, and then on top of that, if Darkseid has 5+ buffs, that means she'll attack potential for her to attack 4 times and lay down that many more. Let me go ahead and go back to it. So that goes from 2 int downs and 2 strength downs to 8 strength downs and 8 int downs. So that's what Talon's role is there for. You have Parallax there strictly as protection, really. And then Darkseid, I mean, just explain that. There's obvious side things that are going on, but that's the main strategy here. Ooh, and John Stewart goes down hard. Removing the debuff immunity. I mean, do we even... getting some strength downs on Wonder Woman might be a good idea. What do you say? What do you think? Think some strength downs on Wonder Woman, Coda might be in the plan. All right, come on. Now this, well, actually, no, I'm not gonna say that because I think I ran a combination with it, but I wanted to do, well, I'm not even gonna say that. However, one of the things that I was looking at was stacking debuffs, because I remember seeing or hearing in one of Hate Mail's podcasts, WRL broadcast, sup fellas, that he had a hard time with the concept or the idea of stacking debuffs, which is why he doesn't like disease or bleed as a mechanic. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was the thought process, but what I've been trying to do a lot lately is stacking just tons and tons of debuffs from out of turn attacks to see how that goes. Now, ooh, why are you looking so bumpy? Let's go back. Oh wow, did I just do a terrible Chris Berman impersonation? Jeez. Hello. Where you at? All right, so if it's not obvious, what I'm trying to do here is that because Kyle Rayner does a call assist, Kyle Rayner, Spectre, Word Key, and Raid. I can't remember who said that in my alliance, but that was awesome. So I do love using Kyle Rayner now. I try to use him wherever I can. Mystics are strong in the game right now. Like, yo, there's so many Mystics I want to use, but if I use all the Mystics I want to use, I'm just going to end up with a bunch of physical teams wiping me out. Aquaman was in there for Black Flash, but there's a problem in this comp. I ran into, I did the Tournament of Legends. I'm going to do a video on that. My crash and burn failure from Tournament of Legends, which is still going on right now. Thank you guys for the invitation to that. I just did a terrible job. I ran into a team that was a monster that had Aquaman under Darkseid. And because of Aquaman's A1 and the turn meter manipulation that he has, he went like 8 times in a row. It was obnoxious. I put Aquaman in here to deal with Black Flash, but the problem is that he's going to deal with too many things too well. Star Sapphire is there because it's her video, and then I'm trying to get a lot of call assist from Kyle and Darkseid onto Star Sapphire so we can get a lot of those int ups and strength int downs and strength downs out there. And yeah, I'm just gonna play. Like, Aquaman was just not having it. It has to be about him. He's so selfish. All right, so we stun Spectre. There goes that AoE turn meter manipulation. Have the damage immunity up from Kyle Rayner. Darkseid goes again on that call assist. And I think I was gonna stun, yeah, Black Flash. And then he goes. Now at a certain point, I think that, yeah, Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Put down. Oh, no. Oh, I did it. Okay, no. I did the A1 twice. Well, 3 times there. Because I was trying to deal with Spectre. This team was... Well, I mean, it was Mystic versus Mystic, but this team was pretty effective. So... I think this is where I run into the problem of, like... See how Aquaman just keeps going and going and going? Like, I had to try to use something else so that I wouldn't have his turn anymore. Because as he's going, if I had put that on auto, he would have just stayed doing his A1. Like, bruh, let somebody else get a turn. This video ain't about you right now. This video's supposed to be about Star Sapphire. She has not done a thing outside of, like, take out Spectre. A half-dead Spectre. So, like... Yeah, this was supposed to be about her, but what can I say? Aquaman on the dark side is beast. Jeez. Yeah. See, I'm trying to use other things to get... I'm trying to do other things to get Star Sapphire some more shine. And Aquaman's just not having it. It's all about him. It is all about Aquaman. Oh, sometimes things don't go the way you plan them. All right, so now Aquaman has promptly been removed from team. Oh, Aquaman is promptly removed from the team. He's an ISO player. We're trying to play some team basketball here. We don't have any time for ball hogs. All right, so now similar thought process here, which is Grundy's going to be there for our protection. We have Hippolyta. She's there because she's going to give intelligence ups. Going to make us all hit stronger. Also, she has a call assist on the A3 and another passive call assist. Or no, and then a second one as well. Then Darkseid there for obvious reasons. So yeah. And then after this, I'm going to go ahead and go into DC Legends Toolkit, compare her stats. We'll go through one more battle, then I call that a video. That Aquaman thing is so funny and ridiculous. Like, Aquaman is good. Like, really good. When I ran into that composition, it was like, what's actually going on here right now? Like, it was the first time, like, not since I didn't know what turn meter was have I not been so confused. And I'll give that story right now. When I was first starting out in the game, like early to mid game, I was already with, I was already with my alliance now, Drunken Irish Alliance. And basically, I didn't know what turn meter was. This is the first game I ever played like this. I did not understand what turn meter was. All I know is every time I would face like a certain team, and it would be like Red Hood, Green Arrow, Emerald Knight, Castaway, Green Arrow, back when that beast of a trio was going on, every time I would run into that team, I never got a chance. And I was like, what's going on? This isn't fair. Game B cheating. No, I just didn't understand what turn meter was and that they were manipulating my turn meter to where Castaway Green Arrow would toss up his 20% turn meter reduction, which 2 years ago was devastating. And then you had, if anybody died in the meantime, Red Hood was resetting all their turn meters. And so I was just getting stuck. That and then Batwoman happened at the same time. And so whenever I would go up against Batwoman, next thing I know, two of my allies are dead, and I didn't get a chance to go. Like, it's nuts. I love Batwoman. She's really good. Anyway, so going on to the stats of Star Sapphire. Speed, she's slow. Like, is that bottom 10%? I think there's 170 tunes in the game. And I think if you do bottom 10%, I think she's like in the bottom 10%. HP, bottom 10%. That's where that overheal comes in handy. Strength, honestly, why does she have that much strength? Special damage, why does she even have that much strength? And then intelligence, she's number 9, which is part of the reason why she hits like a truck, especially when int downs are on the enemy. Another thing about that means that she's also going to be very strong against special damage attacks. So she's very good against special damage. Physical damage, you're going to want to protect her because her HP pool is shallow as hell. It's shallower than the kiddie pool. And her speed is slow. And so, like, you're going to want to put her... And actually, let me go ahead and check right here. This is not going to be really indicative of what it is truly. But I can go back to her right now because I still have her on my phone. I can go to her right now and see what her actual agility is. Now, this is going to be Rebirth 1. Oh, her agility is like 1,300. Even at RB1. That's low. That's low. So you're going to want to protect her. You're going to want to put her behind some taunters, give her some awareness. She does overheal. There's a reason why healing is so important for her kit. She does mend. There's a reason why that's so important. Legendary Order 31425. If you ask me, 3 was the buff immunity to alls. 4 is the strikes twice if it's over. Or no. Yeah, 1 is strike twice if it's overhealed. 4 is apply mends and crit to Starfire as well. Star Sapphire as well. Purge 4 buffs from target. That's the 2. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Affinity, I would agree with that. However, if you're very, 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 very early game, I would prioritize 5 because this is an in-game legendary order. I would prioritize, and if you're very early game, mid-early game, and you have a problem purging debuffs, I would prioritize 5 and 2 actually higher up. So if you're running into Lex teams a lot, the 3, then the 5 and the 2. No, 2 then the 5. So you can purge those debuffs off of a target if they're stunned or whatever. Then the 5, then the 2. So that's what I would do if I were early game, but in game legendary order that fits. So now we're gonna go back to a couple more fights and then call it a video. Oh yeah, so we have trying to hide her under Nightwing. I want to use Riddler to get some more debuffs out there, and then I was putting Hippolyta out there to give int ups, obviously, and a little bit of call assist. So, and then we were using Nightwing as protection. Also figuring out that a Ben Sor, running him under Nightwing is awesome. I think a Ben Sor is the first, or maybe not the first one that I've experienced. Like the first tune where you need to take him 70-11 for him to be decent. So, are we looking at nobody has debuff immunity? So we're going to go ahead and put a taunt on somebody and then just spread the debuffs. Agility downs, making them more susceptible to physical damage. That's going to help out Nightwing when he wants to cause some damage. Then we can go ahead and put a lot of strength downs on them and int downs on them. That works. So now they're susceptible. And I think Hippolyta also has the, or no, is Hippolyta's A3 special damage, or is it, because I know that's damage and then damage. Yeah, okay, so no. So she's only mixed special damage and physical damage because she gives int ups and strength ups, not because she has both abilities. Unlike Green Lantern, who does have a physical damage ability on the A1 and then special damage ability on the A3. All right, so as you can see, this is pretty all well in hand. Just debuffing a lot of them folks. Like in that sense, like Star Sapphire is good in support. Like very, very good at support, but she can also do damage. She's just squishy. You're gonna have to protect her. And I mean, well, yeah, no, squishy. I was gonna try to defend it, but no, she's squishy. All right, so now this team, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it a video after this. This is me because for the player's guide, last time I did the player's guide, it was I took Supergirl RB1. Now, the reason why I'm experimenting with this is actually kind of for my own edification. So right now I'm going to do the player's guide. I'm filming that tomorrow. And I'm going to take another tune RB1. And I haven't decided yet if it's going to be, I think my options right now are Zod. I think it's Zod, Artemis. Let me go. I can go ahead and go to the right. Because right now I have all of my notes for the player's guide ready to go. And RB1 is going to be, see how much I'm having to scroll to find it. That's how much notes I have to take for this player's guide. And I'm calling it a player's guide now instead of a beginner's guide because there's a lot of mid-game and end-game stuff that I'll talk about as well. So some of the stuff applies to early game, some of the stuff applies to end game, and some of the stuff applies to mid-game. Where RB, oh yeah, so it's Artemis, could take RB1. I went ahead and got enough purple essence so I could take, because she's L4 right now. I could take, where are we looking at? Lex RB2, if that's even necessary, because I mean, I could take Zod RB1. I'm not a big Zod guy though. I don't use Zod a lot. Chemo RB1, which I mean might help him as a tank, but I don't use him that much, although I'm liking debuffs. Or Mr. Freeze RB1. I love Mr. Freeze. I love how we can speed lock teams. Really, it's coming to like Mr. Freeze and Artemis. And Artemis is a special damage red. Like she's one of what, 3 in the game. Joker, Comprehensive Crime, Dr. Poison, and Artemis, I believe, are the only 3 special damage reds in the game. and have one of them RB1. I could take Joker RB1, but why would I do that to myself? I love myself too much to do that. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking on right now. That's why Artemis is in there, because I'm trying to see how much damage she's doing L4 in this PvP battle. I have not used Artemis a lot. I haven't used her much at all lately, but that's part of the reason. I think part of that is because she's not doing the damage that she used to do for me when I first got her. So I'm putting her in there with Lex and Star Sapphire. Star Sapphire, she's going to put those int downs on the enemy team. That way Artemis is going to hit harder, not to mention the fact that Lex is going to give int ups, which means that Artemis is going to get hit harder. Also making it harder for Spectre to take us out with his special damage attacks. So let's go ahead and go. So, and then we have Aquaman in there, of course, to deal with Black Flash. And part of it is I wanted to stun Spectre just because I was worried about what would happen. I wish I hadn't done the A1. I wish I had done the A2, just in case somebody were to die. Yeah, but adding an AoE attack. Oh, now all of them are more susceptible to physical attacks. I did the A3 hoping Artemis would be the call assist on that one, which worked out. Yay. But even if it was Star Sapphire, she was already over heal, so it would have been great. Thing I don't like about that Artemis AoE attack is that she should have been able to kill Black Flash there. That's part of the reason why I want to take an RB1, because she would be a better special damage red. So that is going to do it. This is another team whose composition I'm not ready to show yet. Sorry. Still what I'm working on. In any case, I will have my players guide coming out. I think it's going to be this Friday. On top of that, I will have the free-to-play account week 8 coming out Wednesday. I did get, well, we'll talk about that on the free-to-play video. But thank you guys for watching. I drop these videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So please like, please subscribe. If you don't like it, hit subscribe and hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. Thanks again for watching all the way through. Check out, buy me some coffee, help support the channel. I'll see you guys next time.